I'm betting it got contaminated over the years.
Picked up some dirt along the way.
Well, it's only 70 some years old.
Right. We've determined it has 538s.
Damn.
It belongs at Car Off-Road because everything we do is 538s.
Well, I managed to put Lemonhead in the shop, and now that the dogs have had a chance to hop in and check out the clean interior, it's time for us to get this on the lift and figure out what the heck we actually bought. This is the first real pre-purchase inspection we've been able to do. So, what are we going to find? Let's find out. One thing I am insisting on with this project is that I be given a chance to do most of the work. Doesn't mean I can't do it all, but this is going to be my rig, and this is a good chance for me to really put some skills to practice. Believe it or not, this is the first time I have ever put a rig on a lift by myself and gotten it in the air. So yeah, this is me doing something brand new. It's not going to be the first time with this rig, I'll tell you that.
That might be as high as it goes.
Alright, first time we're getting a true look at the underside of this thing. Looks like somebody coated it with some sort of, I don't want to call it bed liner, but that's kind of what it looks like.
That's a rust problem.
Oh, well.
We're trying to avoid that.
Yep. So, close up of what Kenneth was looking at. But you see there's some sort of just weird coating here. Odd strap that does nothing.
Muffler hanger.
Is that what that is?
Yep, some old muffler hanger.
Okay.
So yeah, there's definitely a rust hole there. And there's a something or other above it, which is interesting.
Well, you've got a whole ton of wiring
Back there.
Yeah. Which all looks like it's old, antique, possibly broken, and needs to be replaced.
This definitely looks like
Look at it. They actually used wires to tie up wires.
Well, you didn't have zip ties in 1960.
Oh, yeah. Wow, they did that here, too. They just twisted some other wires together. And there. They'll probably, I don't know, conduit or at least whatever. It's got a parking brake.
Uh-huh. Well, the parking brake is there. There's no cable attached to it.
Agreed. We were mistakenly calling that parking brake a PTO, though, in another video. That is one really ugly, dirty transfer case.
Yeah.
More evidence of the fiberglass body, which we already knew about.
Mm-hmm.
All the fibers and threads. Gosh, just the teeniest, tiniest little drive shaft. And I don't know if the skid plate's original or not.
Hard to say.
I just don't know. I don't know if they came with them. But it's got this weird extra bolted on piece.
Well, it's reaching out to protect the parking brake.
Exhaust.
Yeah.
It's good. Boy, there's some dirt I definitely didn't get cleaned up when I did all that work last weekend. Wow. Tell me what you found.
Well, just looking here, you can see where the frame is kind of
Oh, it's
bubbling.
delaminating.
Yeah, and what's happened is that the center section is rusting and it's expanding.
Oh.
I mean, all told for 1946, that's not that much rust, but there are a couple of rusty spots.
There's the
There's the icky, awful, horrifically dirty transfer case.
Didn't you say you cleaned this thing?
Well, I told you I didn't get the pressure washer out, so I didn't have the undercarriage washer available. Plus, it's got a skid plate. It might not have gotten there. This might be the original paint color up here. As you can see flakes of it coming through on the fiberglass. I don't know. It could be the original paint color. This is one spring under conversion. We will not be converting to spring over, unlike the M715. This is gonna stay as it is. But we know that probably every single rubber bushing on this will need to be replaced. That almost looks like somebody attempted to patch it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's this weird piece of metal just there.
Yeah.
Well, we did frame repair on Penny once. We should be able to do it here.
So here on the passenger side, this is a lot better shape, but it's got the same sort of weird piece there.
Yeah, that random piece of metal.
It looks like they were able to do the, I don't know. I was going to say it looks like they were able to do the V6 without messing with motor mounts, but I'm not sure I would agree with that as I look at it, because I've got stuff here that looks like a motor mount.
Here's a closer look at the motor mounts. You're right, those do not look like factory welds at all. Huh, what did we find here?
Looks like it's a D233C.
What is?
The oil filter.
Oh, okay, well, that's fine. But what's this goopy, drippy mess?
Probably just dirt and oil.
Yeah.
Dirt and oil.
Ugh, I can press my finger into it. Icky.
Wow.
It is what it is, though. One more thing to put on the to-do list. The bump stop isn't attached on that side. And it obviously isn't attached on that side. So we're gonna have to rework the bump stops. Okay, I get it. Use what you've got, what you're handy with. But a nail as a cotter pin? I have a feeling at some point we'll be addressing that. Wow, there too. That's just a nail bent around.
Well, let's roll the oil tank under here. That's what we've got it up for, is to let us drain and refresh fluids.
Okay, so got the oil pan in place, roughly under the drain plug. If this truly was last registered and used in 1991, that means it's been, what, 30 years? 32, 33 years since this oil may have been changed?
Something like that.
So, bubbles, to be expected. Mine's got kind of a gradient, Kenneth. It's lighter colored at the bottom than it is at the top.
Yeah.
Yours came out first.
It's got a little bit of the same. I don't know how much of that is. As you see, it doesn't move when I...
So you don't think there's water in here?
I don't think there's any evidence of water in it.
Good.
Because this was the first oil that came out, and oil floats. So the first out of the bottom of the motor would have been the oil, or any water. I don't see any water. So
good.
It's dirty. It's definitely dirty. Start missing the drips at the back.
So I want to take a quick moment to remind you that Kenneth is still post-surgical here and still doesn't have complete use of his right shoulder. So that's why you're seeing him do a lot of things one-handed, and why sometimes you see me poke my hand in to help.
All right, oil filter came off very cleanly. How to change your oil filter. There's instructions on it. If you can read them based on how it was installed, that's great. But somehow, I very much doubt D23 stands for December of 2023.
No, that's the oil filter number.
Oh, I completely agree with that.
So cross-reference that, we'll figure out what we should have bought.
And there's a C25 marker on it too. It's definitely bigger, no question about that.
The sealing surface should be compatible. Guess we'll see if it'll spin on.
I guess it's not necessarily bigger, it's just longer. Holds more oil.
Yeah, it's a larger oil filter.
And yeah, everybody has their favorite oil filters. Ours happens to be Wix.
That part number, the 51515,
Yeah.
is pretty sure what's on our Liberties.
So while that is left to drip away, and we are going to have to get a different filter because the cross-reference we found was incorrect. Next up, service the differential. We're looking for the right bolts. Kenneth, you had a good comment on this earlier. Everything on this will be SAE.
Yeah.
We figured out by the frame tag that this is actually not a 47. This is a 46.
2A.
CJ2A 1946. You want to actually look at the gearings.
Well, I do. I guess there actually is a drain plug on it.
There is.
But yeah, I would rather inspect.
Got it. One more bolt left to go. Kenneth, did you figure out what the front axle is?
This is a Dana 25, I think. Is what these were supposed to have been. Now, leaving that bolt on, I want it to hold the cover in place. It's going to require 2 hands, so you get to do this. There you go. Okay.
Ooh, goopy. And you're not even looking at it.
Sorry, I'm looking at the thing I have to look at.
It's almost greenish.
Yeah. I'm not seeing metal
There's
in
bubbles.
it. Yeah, I'm not seeing metal in it. Not seeing water.
That's a good thing too.
So no water, no metal is good.
I'm hearing a noise, but in both cases it sounds like it's at the hubs, not in the diff.
Now you're hearing, say, liquid, sticky sound.
No, not that sound. I'm talking about the rattling sound coming from over here.
Oh.
Which means we probably need new hubs or something. Wheel bearings, whatever.
No, what you're hearing there is just normal brake noise.
Oh, okay. First impressions on this diff?
It's a diff.
And here we do a little bit of light cleanup with brake fluid before we call it a night. Come back at it tomorrow morning.
Okay, so moving on to the rear differential of this thing, we went ahead and pulled the drain plug to pull it out and bring this in. And I'm not sure how well it's showing up on the video.
Looks like a mocha.
But this, yeah, it has about the color of a mocha. It's not the chocolate milkshake from like water infiltration, and there's no layers in what came out. This is the the first little bit that came out of the drain plug, but it dirty. So we're going to go ahead and pull the cover and wash out the interior of the differential, as well as just generally inspect while we have the opportunity. But yeah, this is not the way gear oil should look. But it's probably been sitting there for 30 years, collecting.
Yep.
It has about the consistency of,
Gear oil?
80, 90 weight gear oil, which is
Yeah.
what this calls for.
Righty, loosey, lefty, tighty.
Turned into a long conversation about clockwise and counterclockwise the other day. Apparently right and left is subjective.
Well, it depends on your point of view.
It's an interesting combination of attaching brake lines to the diff cover. Do that on the front end as well.
And is this bolt
a different size?
That's weird.
Ooh.
Okay, this is going to be fun. Well, no, it's just
covered in goo.
It is just covered in goo.
It's a bolt in the middle of a dirt clod.
Yeah. Okay, now that they're all broken free. I bet you can get a lube blocker for these.
Yeah.
Or RTV, because these aren't going to see a lot of abuse.
It's going to say, yeah, I mean for today it'll be RTV, but
find a lip you can get under.
now there's a little bit of one here. Oh, okay. That came off a lot easier than the front one did.
And it's actually slightly wedged because there's weight on it. Okay, should be good.
Yeah, still slightly wedged.
Huh. No gasket. No, that is paper gasket. So yeah, we'll have to scrape
that off. Muddy.
Yeah, a little dirty, but
the wear pattern on the gears looks fine.
Yeah. That's sludge on the...
Sludge and mud.
Yeah, definitely could use a good cleaning. I'm betting it got contaminated over the years.
Picked up some dirt along the way.
Well, it's only 70 some years old.
Right. And now fun with scrapers.
Fun.
The good news is the whole gasket stayed on, I think stayed on this side.
Yeah, I already knocked off the bottom part. But yeah, it's kind of stuck, so we'll need a razor.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. It's been there for 30 some years.
Let you start with this. I'm going to grab another one.
Okay.
Another. And then you hit the spot.
I think it's right where the bolt crushes it down, where it's. Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to just grab it there, and then you get. Yep.
Yeah, and it just right in between.
Yeah, we'll grab a roll lock and then hose it out again. Good. Okay, yeah, that's now flowing with a lot less mud.
A little more. Okay. 43.8.
43.8.
Probably 538.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a 5 something.
538.
Okay, so a 43.8 makes these 538 gears. Well, That fits. Because everything else car off-road does.
It's 538.
This is 538s.
5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And definitely a worn overdrive in the Spicer 18 transfer case would be a good idea.
Would be a good move because yeah, it's gonna be a 538 with 29-inch tires.
Yeah.
And
well, but you know, from the factory, this had just a little flathead 4-cylinder engine that made
65 horsepower.
Yeah, 65 horsepower. So they compensated with gears, figuring it wasn't designed to go much faster than 45.
Well, and it's got a 3-speed T90.
Yeah, so it does not have overdrive.
And no overdrive, and third gear is probably the one-to-one straight through.
Yeah.
So, yeah, both ends of the equation. So yeah, probably the Warren overdrive, and we'll see when we get it actually up and moving and running if we want to go through trying to re-gear a Dana 41 axle.
Well, I mean, as long as the parts are available, it should be fairly straightforward.
Should be straightforward.
I mean, it's standard Dana gear set.
Yeah. All right, let's give it a wipe down, and then we can do some RTV.
And let's get some thread sealer for the drain plug and a 1/2-inch drive ratchet.
There you go. Now let's go.
We've determined it has 538s.
Damn.
It belongs at Car Off-Road because everything we do is 538s.
And just a real quick. Don't take much off.
You okay?
Getting there.
Getting a one-handed workout?
Huh?
Getting a one-armed workout?
Yep. Okay. Now, small impact on this to tighten them up, but they're now snugged up and in solid. So next up, let the RTV set for a little bit, and then ready to fill this diff.
At this point, we decided to call it a weekend. We will finish up the fluid refresh the next time we work on this rig. And we should be able to get it started. Well, fingers crossed. Anyway, thanks for watching.